watching or listening to the Fragrant Mind podcast. Today, we have a very special guest with us on episode 2 of the podcast. His name is Justin Howard. He is a fragrance enthusiast, healthcare professional, works in the healthcare field. So I think it's going to be interesting to have him on the podcast because honestly, he kind of really represents kind of like uh, I think the more mental health side of um, you know of life. That's his career, that's his specialty, and I think I've known him for quite a while, and he's been a big supporter of AFSOM, and he is someone that I feel just sort of has a really good understanding and attachment with his emotional side. And for him, at least in my experience, fragrance sort of seems to be like a special, emotional connection that he has. Maybe something that he grew up with. I'm not really sure his backstory. I'm sure we'll dive into that in the episode. But I can see it when he smells something that really kind of evokes a memory for him. And it's a really special experience. And hopefully we can kind of tap into that today on the podcast. Anyway, so before we get into things, also, by the way, we're going to talk about the theme of this episode is going to be spring fragrances and fragrances that we, are all ready to pull out as the weather starts to warm up and we start to leave the winter. These are fragrances that I've been dying to wear all year. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, I've already started wearing them because, yes, here in New England, the last week, um, it has started to warm up a little bit, and I've been able to pull out some of these bad boys to wear. So I'm super excited about that. And yeah, we're going to talk about it in this episode of a Fragrant Mind podcast. Cue the intro.
Welcome to a Fragrant Mind podcast, the ultimate fraghead show featuring Fragrant Derek.
Look good, feel good, smell good.
Awesome. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. So welcome to a Fragrant Mind podcast. Once again, my name is Fragrant Derek, and I will be your host. So we're going to bring in JDH Styles, aka Justin Howard. Once again, as I said, he is a fragrance enthusiast. He actually runs, he's a moderator of the Cologne Lovers group on Facebook, which has over 120,000 members in it. That's actually how I met him. And he lives in Louisiana, where I was born and where I studied culinary arts. And so he's down in the southern part of the state. And let's bring him on and we will get to chatting. What do you think? Okay.
Hey, Derek.
Welcome, Justin. How are you?
Doing great.
Yeah, awesome. So obviously you're working tonight. You're doing this from work?
Yeah, I'm doing this from work. This is just a night to whereas one of the veterans, he, of course, had like an event earlier, but now he's resting. So I'm doing my payroll and getting all of that taken care of early.
Very cool. Very cool. So
So I have a lot of downtime right now.
uh-huh. Yeah, so it's not like you're like holding off appointments or anything for this.
Oh, absolutely not. Everything's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know you're a super responsible guy. That's what impresses me about you, honestly. Like now, since we've known each other, you seem like someone that's really got it together. You're very well educated, and that's the one thing I love about your content on TikTok is just how eloquently you speak. You speak with authority. You speak with intent. You have sort of this um, intelligence, not wisdom about you. I don't want to say intelligence because I think everybody has a level of intelligence, but you have this sort of authoritative wisdom about you, almost like an old soul. And um, I'm really impressed with the way you break down not just fragrances, but you also get into like grooming and men's grooming, and you also talk a lot about sort of like self care and things like that. And I love
Mhm.
that because I think a big part of fragrance is, self care,
Yes.
and I think that's super important. So, tell me your vision behind like what you're trying to achieve with TikTok and social media, um, and what kind of got you into all that.
Okay. Well, as far as now, TikTok, it's pretty much just to socialize, it's to learn, and also to have fun as I share my views and listening to others.
Mm,
That's my objective as it pertains to using TikTok because I really thought that I wasn't going to be able to get it again.
yeah.
Now, as far as it starting, the connoisseur journey, it started in 2015 when I started to rock the Versace Eros. And it's funny that I started rocking Versace Eros at that time here in Louisiana because everybody was rocking the regular Dior Sauvage.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't feel as if that was going to work for me. So my best friend, who lives in San Antonio, he introduced that to me, the Versace Eros, and of course that has been my signature fragrance for a while. But now my signature fragrance, I have three of them. My signature fragrance is Sauvage Elixir, Ralph's Club EDP,
Mm,
and Mask Milano Reflection for the springtime. So I have three signature fragrances, and I also have other fragrances that I wear throughout the spring. And I wear them like if I'm going to a movie, or if I decide I want to go to like a business seminar, or
yeah.
if I want to go and sit in the coffee shop, like with the Muda Mayes. I'm very thankful for that. And I also want to say thank you for getting me this and the Oud for Glory. I'm very
Mm,
thankful for that. Very,
yeah.
very thankful because when I smell those, I mean, I'm like, well, dang, like it's really taking me somewhere.
Yeah.
That's really the biggest part, Derek, of having the clones. It's not always so much of getting the compliments, but it's just to evoke a level of emotion and a level of confidence within yourself as a man as you're
Mm,
going out throughout your day.
yeah.
Expression. That's why I argue with myself sometimes. Am I more of an artist or am I more of a scientist?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of interesting, you bring up about, how fragrance can evoke confidence as well as um it's funny because I actually, I went through depression for a long time. I suffered from deep,
Hmm.
deep, dark depression, for a very long time. And the one thing I learned is, I would go and get a haircut, just like
Hmm.
something as simple as a haircut. And afterwards, I would feel at least 60 to 70% better about myself. I would have sort of like a pep in my step. I would go out, I would leave the salon, even if I was wearing like yesterday's clothes, I felt like a more confident, able-bodied person. I felt like I was about to take on the day. It's like, oh man, maybe I should go get something to eat so I can maybe the waitress will comment on my new hairdo. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how, just doing something as simple as, getting a good shave, throwing on some clean clothes, putting on some socks and a fresh pair of kicks, throwing on a fragrance, and it just makes you feel better. I think a big problem with a lot of people nowadays is, they're working from home or they're sort of not socializing, so they're not really taking care of their appearance, and they're getting into a funk because all of the outward stuff is sort of seeping inward. And I got to be honest with you, like for myself, especially in recent times, I didn't start to feel more confident until I started focusing on the small things, just showering daily, shaving on a regular basis, not letting myself
Exactly.
get scruff, uh, wearing a fragrance, and also not wearing a fragrance to cover up some BO, but knowing that I don't have BO so that I could let that fragrance shine through. All these little things that seem so obvious to most people, I think people just kind of get in the funk and they get oblivious to the fact that they're not focusing on these simple core principles, and it is affecting. how they feel about themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, and to piggyback off of that, Derek, I've also learned, not just as a mental health specialist, but throughout graduate school and throughout my undergrad, I learned that the shortcut is actually the long way around.
Yeah.
I know that resonates and that hits a lot of people. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back, though.
Yeah.
The shortcut is the
Mm.
long way around.
I got hold on.
And
I
I
gotta say
think that
hallelujah to that, man. Because like
yeah,
so
because
many people don't realize that, you know.
they don't get it. They don't get it. And we
Absolutely.
have taken a shortcut on culture,
Mm-hmm.
American values. We have taken a shortcut on everything, Derek. Now,
Yeah.
Amazon, because if you remember, Amazon
Mm.
wasn't even that popular at first.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it was eBay.
Yep.
Then Amazon became popular. But during the 90s and the 2000s, I can vaguely remember walking through the mall.
Oh
I
yeah.
go to the front part. I can smell the pizza. I can
Mm.
smell the popcorn of that gentleman. May his soul rest in heaven. That had the popcorn stand. I can smell all of that fresh candy. I can smell those hot dogs and those
Mm.
pretzels, and I can hear the music
Yep.
at Sam Goody's,
Mm-hmm.
and I can hear somebody calling out my name. Hey, Justin, such and such want to challenge you in Marvel versus Capcom. You coming back this way? Yeah, I'll be
Yep.
back in a second. Let me go to Sam Goody's. See,
Mm.
we had something. There was a level of structure. We knew what we were going to do with our Saturday. We were going to go to the movies. We were going to go to the mall. We were going to go
Mm.
to the park. We were going to attend a barbecue with family. Or we were going to stay at home and read if it was raining.
Yep.
There were a list of things that added to the structure. Now, even though we had structure,
Mm.
even though we had structure, we had order within that structure.
Yep.
Nowadays, we just have basic family structures. And out of the basic family structures, there's no order, there's no purpose.
Mm.
We just press buttons and things come to us. There
Yep.
is no mystery behind going out and buying things. There's no mystery behind going out and getting fragrances like we get. And people they take that out of it. And it's only a few of us that would do that.
Mm.
And quite frankly, sometimes it can be a little irritating, frustrating, or even depressing on our end because we are familiarizing ourselves with this level of culture and this level of discovery, and people are just simply not discovering it. A
Yeah.
lot of people are depressed because, like I said, they don't have a sense of culture and they don't have a sense of order within the structure that they
Yeah.
already have.
Yeah. That brings to mind, like when back in the, I don't like saying the '90s because that seems so far long ago. But anyway, back when I was young, I'll say that much. Um, I specifically remember like going to the mall or going shopping. We never had like a specific thing we wanted to buy. It was just about the experience, you know, just to discover what was out there. It's like I'm going to the mall. I don't have it like nowadays. You're like, okay, why would I go out to shop? Well, I have something specific I need, and I'm going out to pick up that one thing. And now the way they structure the stores is they put all this other stuff to distract you. So now you want that one thing, and you end up buying a bunch of other stuff because you're walking past all this other stuff, right? That's how essentially they make sales nowadays. But that being said, like back in the day, we didn't always go out with a specific intent to buy something. We went out because all our friends were at the mall. Or even if they weren't at the mall, there would be other people at the mall. Or just like that one clerk that you hit it off with at Sam Goody, that you love talking about, new music or whatever, or the new Nas album or whatever. It's like, you would go for the social experience, and all the way they made sales was you're at the mall, you're going to get hungry, so you're going to eat something, you're going to pass all the kiosks, you're going to notice something that you're like,
Facts.
I don't need it, but you know what, that's pretty cool, and it's a sale, so I'll pick it up, whatever. So like that's just the whole concept of leaving the house for enjoyment seems to be void these days. And I to bring it back to the concept of this podcast even, when we get into fragrance, I think the reason fragrance is so big right now, just for like especially younger teenagers, early 20 somethings, is because fragrance seems to be one of the only things that allows you to leave, to transport you away from where you currently are without actually having to leave the house. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And see those words right there. See, I'm glad that we're on a podcast because see those words right there. That all right. They have more power and meaning than you probably realize.
Yeah.
The reason why some of these teenagers they are doing it is because they are yearning for some of that structure.
Mm,
Like some of the people that they call unc, like they might call unc or auntie, or
yeah.
even hey, they might call this person pops or grandma or somewhere. But mainly it's the people who are millennials like ourselves who are in our, like late 30s, early 30s, 40s or whatever like that. They're trying to figure out why did we leave the house at 11 in the morning and didn't come back home until 7, almost like we
I
work a
know.
shift and we actually had time to have fun. They're yearning for that sense of culture and they're yearning
Yeah.
for that sense of order.
Yep.
Because when we talk about American culture between the 70s and all the way to the 2000s, a
Mm,
pivotal time in
yep.
social
Mm,
behavior. And when we look at Erickson's stages, that's a pivotal time because malls had everything we needed. Malls, they had the food that we eat. We
yep.
eat pizza and hot dogs. We eat
Yep.
popcorn. We eat pizza, more hot dogs, and more popcorn, and drink
Even
more soda.
Walmart had all that. You remember going to
Yeah,
Walmart? They had a little food court. They had, dude, they had, what was it called? The radio something, radio diner or something like that. In the mall. I mean at Walmart. You could go to
yeah.
Walmart, you could get a pretzel with cheese sauce. They had pizza.
The
They
radio
had an
diner.
arcade. Yeah, radio diner. That was it.
The radio
They had an
diner.
arcade. They had all that. And not only that, but it had personality, right? So like they had like
Yes.
the red and white tiles on the floor. They had really fun artwork. Like they actually gave people like kids, and you could go to Walmart and this is the beauty of it, right? So what happens when you got a kid next to you at Walmart? They're constantly asking for things and distracting you from what? Spending money. So how do they fix that? Give the kid $2. Go get yourself something at the thing. Go play some arcades, right? And back then, $2 went a long way, right? So you get your little $2. The kid's off. Now the mother's shopping and thinking about, oh, I'm gonna pick this up, that up. But anyway, it was all geared toward giving. I mean, man, we had such a good childhood because even just the act of going to Walmart was exciting, or you know, even when we were kids, like going, birthday parties at McDonald's, right? They had the play place, and like
Oh
you would
man.
go, they would have like someone dress up like Ronald McDonald, and you would get your little Happy Meals. Everyone had their Happy Meals. They even had that
Mm.
crappy McDonald's cake that they would bring out, or
And they
everybody would
still
get ice
sell those
cream.
cakes.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Now
Like I
see,
seen this video where they're like, "Did you know McDonald's had a birthday cake?" It's like from my generation, everyone knew that McDonald's had a birthday cake. It's surprising that they still have it,
hmm
considering there's no one having birthdays at McDonald's
yeah. And see, to
anymore.
piggyback off of that, I remember when I first started driving.
Mm,
I had to watch my cousins, and we had a breakdown of communication. And my mom was like, "I got to go to work, so I can't help you with them." I said, "Mama, it's all right. I got it." So I went to go pick up all of my cousins,
hmm
my little cousins at the time. It was what, four of them. And she had called me. She said, "Justin, what are you about to do?" "We about to go to McDonald's."
Yeah.
I took all of my cousins.
hmm
It was like 12 in the noon. It was like 12, 12:30. I told them people, "Look, this is what we're gonna do. Even though it's a few of us, let's kind of have like a mini party. This is the best way to go."
Yeah.
And the gentleman was, and the lady that came out, she was the manager. She said, "Wait, what do you want to do? Let me have this mini party." So I gave her the money. She came out, gave me all of the stuff, whatever like that. And I was like, "All right, guys, let's eat lunch." And covered up the stuff, and I just stayed there and I kind of just watched them. They played in the playpen, and one of my cousins at the time, when he was a preteen, he played on the little video games and everything. And then we had our dinner. Then we had a little bit of a snack, and then I took them to the movies, and my aunties got up, and we all went. And my mom asked me, Justin, what did you? Y'all was at McDonald's that whole time? Yes, mom. Let them have the party. Let them have that. They enjoyed it. They didn't. I didn't need to spend so much money. I didn't need to spend so much money. At first, they was a little sour about it because, uh, but then they started playing around. They started throwing little balls at each other. Then they started, running around. And it was the simple times.
Yeah.
It was the simple times, and it's
Mm.
the simplicity. And like you said, with the personality in Walmart, and like I said, the pivotal time that I just named, that shaped our personalities.
Yeah.
When we had malls, movies,
Mm.
we had grocery stores, we had retail stores, and everything. And then a portion of my knowledge comes from some gentlemen who were older. They passed away now. When I first started working in Steinmart, he heard me talking and he looked at me. He was an older man. He said, Justin, I love the presentation, but you're going to come back here and you're going to watch one of these videos from whenever I was up north. And you're going to learn about fragrances. You're going to learn about how to dress. You're going to learn a lot. I'm going to put it on to you and you're going to use this because you're not going to be bumbling around just to make a buck. You're going to know what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you learn it.
Mm.
And the manager walked up and or whatever like that. I looked at the manager and the manager was like, don't you dare say nothing to me. That gentleman is older than me and I learned from him. So you're going to keep your mouth shut. You're 18 years old because I was 18 at the time working at someone. You're going to go right back there and you're going to learn what he tells you.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Mm.
And it was no getting mad about it. It was no disrespect. As I was like, yes, sir, I'm going to learn. And boom, here we are today, years later, with a master's degree, a life coach, board certified. I know how to take care of myself. And, I'm glad that those experiences actually helped shape me to become the man that I am today. And it's
Yeah.
actually helping me to become an even better man.
Yeah.
So,
It's kind of funny how, like, even for myself, like, I can think of, I mean, I don't have that one mentor, but I can think of at least a handful of men that, you know, played that role in my life throughout my life, really at different stages of my life that, were there to sort of guide me and help me become who I became, and I think that's something that is so overlooked as well. It's just the value of learning how to step up and uh, be a responsible adult. You know what I mean? Like be someone that um, has a presence. That controls knows how to control their emotions, knows how to command a conversation, knows how to have the ability to have an open mind and be a free thinker, but also the has the ability to um, also rein it in and be professional. Um, those are values that I think uh, is such a it's like a lost art nowadays. It's really sad, and hopefully, with a fragrant state of mind, with the ability to have this podcast and have people come on and just discuss these things and have the ability to not be so censored by a platform like no offense, but like TikTok or YouTube or something like that, but to be able to come on here and just speak openly about these topics and the importance of putting an impression on the younger generation, because honestly I think this as a content creator, dare I say influencer such as yourself and myself. A lot of younger kids watch what we do, and I feel like we have a responsibility to kind of guide them because they don't have that guidance at home, unfortunately. And I'm not saying that everyone is like that. I'm sure a lot of them do have guidance, but there's a lot that don't. And whether it be fragrance or like as you do the grooming stuff and the self-care and all that, these are all basic life skills that people need, not just men but women. Anybody has this need to develop these basic fundamental life skills to be successful in life. When I was young, 18, like I left home. And I'll be honest with you, when I was 18 years old, I left home. I went and lived on my own for about 6 months, and then I was homeless actually for like a year. I
Mm,
bounced from like shelter to shelter and couch to couch, and I did that. And my parents, it's not because my parents weren't like, "Oh, come home," I didn't want to go home. I wanted to learn how to do it on my own, and that gave me the resilience and the ability to learn that I know how to overcome. And it took me a long time, and I struggled, and I fought, and I lived through poverty. I lived sleeping in my car, camping in the woods. Like I did all that, you know what I mean? And um, but it made me who I am. And I think people are so afraid nowadays, especially young kids. They're afraid of opposition. They're afraid of the struggle.
mm,
It scares them. And also they feel kind of like they're entitled. Oh, I'm American. I live in America. I deserve this. I'm entitled to health insurance. I'm entitled to roof over my head. It's like, no, you're not. I wasn't entitled to that stuff, you know, and none of us are realistically. You have to do, you have to take action to make those things happen. If you want a roof over your head, you have to go to work. If you want a job, you have to take care of the way you look. You have to be respectful. You have to be able to follow direction. And if you feel like you're better than the situation you're in, you need to suck it up and, you know, and push through it so you can earn that money and save that money and invest that money so that you can then take your aspirations and dreams and become the boss eventually. But even if you're not the boss now and you feel like you know more than the boss that you have or whatever, you still got to suck it up because you got to pay the bills. You got to keep the food on the table and the lights on and all that. People feel like nowadays, a lot of people, I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of people feel like they sort of like it's like they're just owed things.
mm-hmm.
And you know what, nobody's owed anything in life, and I wish we are owed basic fundamental human rights. We're owed to be respected. We're owed to be kept safe from harm. uh but beyond that, not really. I mean, if you want a roof over your head and health insurance and a car and all these things, that they're all luxuries, man. I hate to say it, but they're all luxuries.
True.
And you have to go out and earn it. And unfortunately, us as millennials, I think a lot of us know there's not a lot of generational wealth in our generation. And
Mm-mm.
none of us are getting a free ride. I wish we were, but they're not.
Great share.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. That's true.
I
And
think
that's
so.
why, and that's exactly why, like, I mean, like you said, like with the colognes
Mm,
in the springtime, particularly, because
yeah.
now with because like I said, I also can remember, like the car rides and everything. And I can remember like on Friday nights when it was springtime, coming in after playing football or playing hide and
Mm,
seek. Hey, mom, are we going anywhere tomorrow? Because if so, I need to get my clothes out and I need to make sure I iron. Yeah, we leaving early because I got to go to the utility office. We're gonna go to the mall after we go grocery shopping, and you know the drill there. That type of thing.
yeah.
So we knew that we was going somewhere. Then if we was going like out of town for a trip or something, then that was one thing. But
Yeah.
it was the vibes,
Mm,
and of course, springtime. It's like I feel as if this is the time where one it gets like brand new, and
yeah.
they start to transform their mind into and really setting forth into goals and everything because that's whenever you really want to come outside.
Hmm.
Spring and fall, that's when people start shuffling their feet and they
Yeah.
start doing things. Springtime, relief from wintertime. Fall
Mm,
time, everybody's in school. Guess what's happening in fall time? Thanksgiving and Christmas.
yep.
So it's the way that we think, it's the way that we behave and everything. So that's why I know for myself that whenever you told me to discuss some fragrances here, how many I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I brought 9 of these, like to kind of show
Mm,
the crowd and our viewers because
yeah.
they mean something to me.
Yeah. I've got a few as well. And yeah. Speaking of that, I think we should start talking about some spring fragrances. That being said, though, um, this thought just popped in my head. Right? Why is January in the middle of winter? Right? Like the new year. It don't make sense. Why don't we put January in spring? Right? Like New Year, winter's gone. Like I feel like spring is the new year for me at least, right? January doesn't feel like a new
Yes.
year. Spring feels like a new year, you know? Like as soon as
Yeah.
the sun starts coming out, the cold chill goes away, the snow melts, the flowers start coming out, the trees start getting green, the birds show up again. That feels like rebirth. That feels like, you know what? It's a new year officially. You know what I mean?
And literally all of that just started happening here just a couple of weeks ago. And
Yep.
it's 9:32 here, Derek.
Mm.
About an hour ago, the sun just went down. So
Wow.
they just go to show you the sun just went down. And look, and here's the thing: a few times during the summer last year,
Mm.
I kid you not, there were times where the sun was just going down at like 9:10 or 9:11, and you
Yeah.
could still see outside. So
Yeah.
this is going to show you. I mean, there are some places that still are getting bad weather, like snow and
Mm.
everything. There are some places that where it's still cold at.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, it still is winter time.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
springtime
absolutely.
in between. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's not
But it's
springtime
good
until
to
the 20.
start.
That's what, Thursday?
Yeah. Yeah. But we got to start preparing, and I think it's good to at least get it on the mind to start thinking about, hey, what scent should I pick up? So honestly, between two of us, it sounds like we got like 19 cents. So maybe instead of like, maybe we should like do a like a rapid fire. How about I do one, you do one? You want to do that?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what. I think that it would be great if you do yours first, and then, of course, I'll rebuttal and show you what it is that I have and why I have it.
I
Go
like
ahead.
the back and forth idea. I'll do one and you do one, and then we'll compare them. How's that sound?
Mm,
Well,
sure.
I mean,
Okay.
it's not like one's better than the other, but I mean, it'd be kind of cool to be like, we'll just touch base. We'll see where it goes. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna list. Let's not do like top 10 or anything like that. I don't want to do that. Let's just talk about some scents we like to wear in the spring. I pulled out like 10 of them. We don't have to go through all of them, but
All right.
um,
Let's
s-
start with fresh.
yeah, absolutely. So for fresh, for me, I'm gonna pull this one over. Actually, I got a few right here. What really? These are all kind of fresh. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I like wearing fresh in the spring. Of course, you come out with the cool water, right?
This is Cool Water Intense. It
Oh
came
yeah.
out in 2024.
Mm,
Amber, amber,
yeah.
coconut
Mm,
with a little touch of vetiver, but
ooh.
mainly amber and coconut. And man, the smoothest musk. uh, Derek,
Mm,
oh my goodness, this, all of my fragrances, all of the ones here,
mm.
they're gonna last me over 8 hours.
Wow.
That's the thing about it. But
Yeah.
I just want to express how this one lasts me 10. And it was surprising. I knew it was gonna last because Cool Water, even the original, it
Mm,
lasts on me big time.
wow. Yeah. I mean, I love cool water, but the
Yeah,
one,
this is a
I,
fresh.
yeah, I have actually one of the friend I think it actually, you know what? It's crazy. The one I pulled out is actually I think inspired by cool water, but it's actually a niche fragrance. And so I think we're on the same page. I'll just pull it out right now, which is Riverside Drive,
Riverside Drive. Oh,
bond number
hey,
9, baby.
hey,
Bond number 9, baby.
hey, look, where I go and hang out at and
Yeah,
barbecue,
yeah,
like right I go across a bridge, is literally called Riverside Drive. And it's
ooh,
funny because I named it. The
yeah,
street didn't have a name. I put it into Google and stuff, and it's known.
yeah.
And it's
I
called
think I'm
Riverside
wrong.
Drive.
Actually,
It's like right there by the river.
I need to correct myself. It's Shea Bond that I believe is the inspired by. But Riverside Drive is so nice, man. This is pineapple and basil, like gorgeous pineapple and basil, man. Super fresh. The only complaint with this one is it doesn't last super long, which I wish it did last longer. but it's a beautiful, fresh, just gorgeous scent, man. I really love this one.
And it's a pineapple fragrance that doesn't get talk about a lot.
Yeah,
That's
but
crazy to
here's the
me.
thing about this pineapple though. It's not like a juicy like you imagine like a tart pineapple. This is more of like just like the essence of the pineapple, you know, a little bit sweet, sort of the essence of like the fruity nature of the pineapple. What really stands out in this is that sort of really authentic basil note, you know. It's almost like a green vegetal type basil, like a sweet vegetal like fresh basil opposed to like a dry basil, you know. But that's one I really love. But the one I had pulled out before that was this little guy right here from the House of Commodity, which is Mimosa. This stuff, man. In the spring, are you kidding me? What? And not only that, but this stuff's nuclear, man. You spray it on you, it lasts at least 7, 8, maybe even longer. Like we're talking intense, you know, amount of projection, not only projection, but longevity out of this. And I picked this one up, which is crazy. I think maybe because they were maybe like getting rid of their older style of the bottles, but this one I picked up at Marshall's for like $40,
Hmm.
which is and it's a niche fragrance, right? But this is so when you think mimosa, you're not, you know, you would assume it's like what orange and champagne, but that's not what you get from this. This is more orange blossom, like orange blossom floral, you know, but for some reason works really well for me and my skin chemistry, and for me is a super unisex fragrance. I know a lot of people might smell and think feminine, but it's super unisex.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
this is Mask Milano Reflection. This is my
Mm.
signature fragrance on the springtime.
Yeah.
And it has the yellow mimosa flower as
Oh.
well as beeswax and honey and musk.
Oh.
Yes. It lasts a while. And this is why this one is so special to me because, like I said, it's not that everyone can't wear it.
Mm.
That is true. Everyone cannot wear this. But smelling that honey and that smoked honey,
Mm.
it takes me back to the time where I'm
Hmm.
sitting at the table
Yeah.
during the springtime with a
Mm.
fresh haircut watching Secret Squirrel. That's what it reminds me of.
I
That's what
feel
it
you.
takes me back to that. It's the simplicity
Yeah.
and certain type of art, such as the Deco Lux style
Mm.
and the Bajas
Mm.
and the other art form, the abstract art and the ink blots. It
Yeah.
takes me back to that when
Mm.
I'm walking through the store because Kmart at one time had all of that
Yeah.
in the area because Kmart had an eating area too.
Mm.
So yeah,
That's
that's
super
sick.
nice, man. So the next one I want to touch on is this one surprised me, like for real. This surprised me. So I got this is a okay. This is another Marshall's cheapie, which I paid like $16 for this.
Mm,
It's from the House of Guess, right? Which I mean, not a lot of people would assume that Guess makes like, you know, I don't know. I mean, at least for me, I mean, I'm sure back in the day they were putting out some bangers, but as of recent, they're not really putting out a lot of heat. But one of the most viral fragrances I think released this year was the Gucci Guilty Love Edition. I mean, that was kind of all over the place. And I love that scent, right? And where Gucci Guilty Love Edition is kind of a little bit like powdery, a little bit creamy, kind of like almondy. To me, reminds me of like a what's that? Like an almond paste, you know, like a creamy almond paste. This one is very similar to that, but then adds this sort of like tropical, you know, vibe, which is just lends perfectly to the spring. But this one is Guess Amore, and it's called Amore Capri, which is so it's a flanker of the Amore. But dude, this stuff it smells so good, and it actually lasts a pretty decent amount of time for a freshie. And I believe I'm not
so that's
sure.
more of a
I'm not
fresh.
so it's not super fresh. That's the other thing. Is it's kind of a sweet leaning, almost borderline gourmand tropical fragrance. It has a density to it. Um, So it's not like a fresh, imagined citrusy, certainly not in the direction of the previous fragrance, commodity mimosa. This is more of a dense freshy. You know what I mean? It still feels fresh, but has sort of like a little powdery, a little sweet, a little creamy to it. Just really nice though. I love this stuff though. And it
Okay.
smells so similar to the Gucci Guilty Love Edition, which I also have, but dude, this stuff smells so good. Yeah, I love it. So, and
Okay.
$16, man.
Now I want to introduce, well, not introduce, but talk about this. This is light blue, all intense.
Yeah,
And you're familiar with this. I mean, I wear this
absolutely.
during the spring.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Typically, whenever I wear, as you can
Mm,
see, light blue, whenever I come and wear my scrubs, because, like I
yeah.
said, it's the simplicity of it.
Mm,
It's calming.
yeah.
It's the vibes, and of course, whenever I decide I want to go to the beach in Florida, like if I'm in the condo
Mm,
and I make me some breakfast and I make me a
mm,
smoothie, I open up the patio and I listen to the waves, or if I decide to go and take a walk,
mm.
or if I just throw on my jacket and go to the boardwalk, I
Yep.
can do that. So the versatility is, so I can use this for, my scrubs. I
Mm,
can actually go to the beach in this. This is why I love like this aquatic fragrance. I mean,
yeah.
so
I mean, I don't do Dolce Gabbana Light Blue. I think is super underrated and underappreciated, especially with the younger generation. I think a lot of us old heads sort of like understand and appreciate what light blue is.
yeah,
And really, I love the whole line. I even love the OG, the original. Um,
yeah,
it just doesn't
that's
last,
lemon heavy.
unfortunately. It doesn't last, unfortunately, and it just really has some cruddy performance. But the O intent sort of modernized that DNA and also gave it the staying power that it needed. That
with
being
the
said,
with the
yeah,
marine power. Yeah.
absolutely. But here's the thing though, every one they've ever put out, in my opinion, has been a banger. They just don't always perform. And the thing is, sort of like the Aqua di Gio line, they're all so similar in a lot of ways. I mean, they essentially just take that original DNA and slightly tweak it. Maybe add a little bit more projection, a little bit more longevity, a little bit, maybe swap out, bergamot for mandarin or something. But they pretty much stay true to that original DNA, which I appreciate because a lot of other, fragrances, when they come out with a flanker, sometimes it veers so far away from the original that I don't even understand why they put it in the line. Like how are you going to call that uh a flanker? Giving it the title of that original fragrance is almost like sacrilege to me. But on that, aquatic sort of like, beach vibe that you were covering with light blue, this is a house called Scent Journey, which, dude, so I don't know, have you ever watched TLTG reviews on YouTube?
I cannot say that I
I think his
recall.
name's Ross or something, but this dude, he's like big, bulked up. He works out. I think he's like a power lifter or something. But he actually was talking about this scent, and this one's called Cocktails and Catamarans. Dude, this stuff, man, this is beautiful. And really, this is more spring summer vibes. This literally smells like a pina colada. Like just imagine boozy pineapple coconut pina colada in a bottle. And yeah, this is a niche fragrance, but it's super affordable for a niche fragrance. Beautiful presentation. And if you look at the glass, like frosted glass. And
Mm-hmm.
I paid, I want to say it was like 145 for this 50 mil for a niche fragrance is not bad. And that's not on a discounter. That's straight from the house. And this stuff, dude, it smells so good. Beautiful, vibrant, just boozy pineapple coconut. Such a dumb reach, easy
All
wear.
right.
Beautiful for the
So
spring and
fruit,
summer.
so fruity.
Yeah,
All right, I
absolutely
have a
fruity.
couple.
Yeah.
All right, so when it comes like to my fruity fragrances that I wear in the
Yeah.
spring, of course, I have Rosasi Hawass. I'm a
Mm.
sucker for the plum note.
Oh, you
When I
know it.
smell this, I don't know about anybody else, but I smell the plum.
Yeah.
I smell the plum. I
Mm.
smell fresh water, and I'm gonna tell you what it reminds me of. After getting a fresh black plum from a supermarket that's down the street from where I'm actually working, literally right now,
Yeah.
then going eating that plum, going to go
Mm,
check the mail for my mother, and then go jump into the pool.
mm,
The vibes from that. That's what
yeah.
this smells like. Because I mean, and I would always get like, and forgive me if I keep smelling it.
Yeah.
Like my friend at the time, he was like, "Dude, how many plums did you eat, bro? You smell like plums." So Hawaii's, it smells like plum, water, and of course, I mean a little bit of the cinnamon and
Yeah.
the
A lot of people compare that to Invictus. I think it's definitely um it's not Invictus.
to me,
It's got a little bit of the essence of Invictus, but I, listen, man. I
to
think so many
me,
people call clones. Have you ever like you put them side to side? They're
and
not.
they're not
They're
even
not even.
clones.
They're not at all.
Mm-mm. It's not even a clone. And the thing is, I mean, it feels that way with them because people they want to judge a fragrance as soon as they spray it.
Mm,
That's not how that works. As soon as you spray a cologne, that's not the performance, and that's just not what it is. Because
yeah.
Invictus is like straight marine.
Mm-hmm.
Marine is ocean.
Yeah.
Hawass is aquatic. So dealing with fresh water, and like I said, with the plum, that plum note makes it distinctive.
Mm,
But you see this bad boy right here?
mm,
This is Anfor London Chez Duvra.
mm-hmm.
Now, all I can say is it smells like grapefruit, oranges. It smells like vanilla yogurt. Oh, you know what? Actually, vanilla ice cream, really. Vanilla
Mm,
ice cream. And then, of course, a trip to the ocean,
mm,
and then you bring it back.
mm.
That's what this smells like to me.
So summer vibes.
Like
Yeah.
spring and summer vibes.
So like ice cream on the
This,
boardwalk type vibes.
yes.
Gotcha.
Boardwalk.
Yeah.
I actually have this on right now.
Mm,
Boardwalk, you can wear this to work,
mm.
but this is the type of fragrance that is distinctive.
Yeah.
But this is the type of fragrance that you don't have to dress it up
Mm,
because it'll speak for you.
yeah.
So you don't actually have to put on a suit for this. You don't actually have to, you know, you can wear this with a suit. You can wear this with a turtleneck, but
Yeah.
this is relaxation. This is relaxation, a distinguished relaxation.
Oh,
That's what this smells like.
yeah. I like that. What's that retail
Yes, I
for, by the
mean,
way? Do you remember
hmm,
what you paid? Do you remember what you paid for that?
let's see. I got this for around $40. I got it. I
Dang,
got a
man.
special. I got it directly from the house
All
and
right.
for.
Are they
Yeah.
based in the U.S. or are they
Oh,
from
they have
London?
two houses. They see they have one in London, as this is Amphar London, and they also have one in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. So they're
So,
shipping from London. Is that what they're doing, or
right, they
are
have
they
two
are
like
they
they have
distributed
two like
locally?
houses. I mean that one, like I said, one is based in London, the other one is based in Saudi Arabia,
Okay.
and they have like two CEOs that kind of like work with each other.
Yeah.
One is the COO, one is the CEO, but their fragrances are long lasting, very potent,
Yeah.
and they even sell oils.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not messing with any of the premium oils
Yeah.
because I'm not paying y'all $500 for a thing of oil like that. No,
Mm.
that's too rich for my blood right now. But they do make some great stuff, Derek. They really
Uh,
do.
I'm there for it, man. I love that.
Yeah.
So the next
You
one
got
I'm
any
gonna talk,
citrus?
huh?
You got any citrus?
Ooh,
Because I
now
sure
that
do.
I got a couple. So I pulled out a couple. Hold on. So I'm gonna pull out a couple that one of them is a brand new flanker and like brand new, and then the other one is from I believe I want to say it came out in 2022 or 2020. I can't remember exactly when this one came out.
Hmm.
It might have been last year actually, but it's an OG in the fragrance game, but it has been reformulated. And I got to be honest with you, I love this new reformulation. Surprisingly, because the other new flanker that they just put out, the parfum version,
What is
in
that?
my opinion, was complete. I don't want to call it trash, but I wasn't impressed. But this one's Dior Homme Sport, the newest one, the
Oh,
newest one now. Listen, listen, listen. In the spring, bro.
yes,
In the spring, yo, this stuff goes
yes.
hard. And here's the thing: I don't think it needs to be called sport anymore, because this does not play off like a sport flanker.
Mm,
You know what I mean? This is, in my opinion, the perfect going to work office, but also, just going out on the town, exploring the town, throwing on shorts and flip flops. It's really
mm-mm.
incredibly versatile. Not like overly like a gym or
I'm saying like you
what.
just
Where would
said.
you wear a sports scent? By the way, are you wearing a fragrance on a basketball court? That's kind of wild that they would call it that, but
See
this
me
stuff is just it's so good, man.
and seeing. I think the word sport.
I love
When
it.
we say sporty,
Yeah,
sporty to me sounds like versatile. Because
yeah,
when I think about sports, I think about different type of athletes and
yeah.
them being able to do
I
different
agree,
things.
but do you remember the marketing for the old sports fragrances? Like when they put out like a this, whatever sport, they would
Yeah,
always it was always like extreme, like skateboarding and basketball and like they was just always, real like legit sports. And
yeah.
when they
And
would
see, and that's what
market
makes
it,
this one so unique
yeah,
because you can do so much with it. And
yeah.
then you have to look at what type of sport it is. It's
Mhm.
Dior on sport, and Dior,
Yeah.
hey, they
But
have been successful for a
yeah.
while.
My point is though, listen, Dior. I know you guys want to keep this sport, whatever, because like it sells. Change the name. Like just call it Dior Homme something else. Like the scent is amazing, right? And you've
How
already
about
got the
this?
Dior Homme marker on it. Call it something else. Call it, I don't
Dior
know.
Poem,
I think they already have that. That's the
Dior
original.
Poem.
No, that's the original. The original is
Okay.
Dior Homme poem. But now, look, call it like look, take a nod from Derby Fragrance. Call it Dior Home Office or something like that. Or I don't know. What would you call it? Listen, if there's
Hmm.
anybody in the comments watching right now, please comment what you would call this other than sport. I think it deserves a new name.
Because like you said, they already called it Dior Poem.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they could call it, but they got to call it something else because I feel like sport is such a 90s term. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like calling a fragrance sport fits
Or they can call it
in,
Dior Eau Fraiche. Dior Eau Fresh. They can do that. I mean, because even
um,
though
huh.
it's stronger
Now,
than
if
what
you're
an Eau
thinking,
Fresh is,
yeah,
in
that might
retrospect, it's
imply
still
that might imply though that the concentration is less.
it might imply that.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll discuss that. Leave that down in the comments, guys, if you're watching. Let me know
Yeah,
what should fragrances swap out the sport name for that would be
yeah.
more
That's
appropriate for
what
the
Dior should.
for
Yeah.
the modern
Nah.
style of sport fragrance. You know what I mean? But listen, let me pull this one out because I kind of teased at it. So, but we're gonna get into that one next. I promise. And
Yeah.
I'll
Do you
even
think?
pull out. What's that?
Yeah. Do you think? Take your
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. So this one is the new Aqua di Gio elixir, man. Listen,
Ooh,
yes, yes, yes. Listen, this stuff right here,
Derek, you hurting them.
I know, man. So listen,
Tell us what this. Like you got to describe it. You know it.
all right. So here's what this smells like to me. Okay, they took Profumo. Okay,
Uh huh.
which, mind you, the parfum kind of took a nod from Profumo as well. But they took Profumo, mixed it with a little bit of leather in the base, but not like a dark leather, just kind of leathery vibe, like the essence of leather in the dry down. But they took that Profumo, they elevated it to with more high quality ingredients, but they took out the heavy incense that sort of like the Profumo flanker had. So they took that incense out and they added it. They swapped it out with leather. So imagine, Profumo minus the incense with leather, but also elevated the ingredients to make it more elegant, more mature, just higher quality. And also the performance on this, for me anyway, I've heard a lot of people complain about performance, saying that it doesn't perform as an elixir should. But for me, it performs very good. Here's the problem I think that people are having with it. It came out in the middle of winter, right? So this ain't gonna perform in the middle of winter. Wait till the
No.
summer comes. Wait till the summer comes, or at least next month when the spring arrives. Then test it out. I promise you, it's gonna perform better than it did when it came out. Obviously, in the middle of the cold weather. You
What
know what
is
I mean?
one note that you smell out of that as soon as you spray it, D?
Aqua di Gio. Because here's the
Well,
thing, man.
yeah,
Listen. It's Aqua di Gio at the end of the day. If you smell Aqua di Gio, you know exactly what this smells like.
yeah.
It doesn't veer incredibly away from the traditional Aqua di Gio.
Okay.
So am I gonna say that you're gonna smell it and smell something completely different? No. You're gonna smell it and say, oh, that's Aqua di Gio. But what you'll
Yeah,
notice is that it's Aqua di Gio just elevated, more elegant. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's all it is. It's just a very good version of Aqua di Gio. But it's
yeah.
Aqua di
And I
Gio
mean,
at the
that's
end of
what
the
make a
day.
flanker a flanker. I mean, it still
Exactly.
pays
This
homage to
is
the original.
yes, this is a true flanker. And what I also love is that they kept Roberto Marias on as the perfumer, and he's done every one of the Aqua di Gio flankers. And you know what? He keeps true to the core principles of the fragrance. Just tweaks them a little bit. And this is one that I think did exactly what it was supposed to do. That being said, it's not worth the money. Do not buy this right now at the stores. Wait till it goes on discounters. It's not worth the money. If you
Yeah,
own an Aqua di Gio flanker, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's the Parfum, the Profondo, even the OG. Well, maybe the OG, you might want to get this one because, yeah, it's going to perform better. But that being said, if you own any of the other flankers, this one is going to be repetitive, redundant. I wouldn't waste your money on it. That's my opinion.
yeah. Now, this is one that you introduced to me, and I was very
Yeah.
skeptical.
Yeah.
But let me tell y'all about this one here. When I smell this,
All
I
right.
smell,
Tell them what it is though, because there's people listening that ain't watching.
yeah. All right, so this is Swiss Arabians. This is Swiss Arabians Mudamayas.
Yep.
All right, so when you smell
And who
this,
introduced you to it? Hold on. Who introduced you to it? Oh, something happened.
we're good.
Okay. Who introduced you to it?
Introduce it. Okay,
No, who introduced you to that fragrance?
you brought
Exactly.
this for me. This is a gift.
Listen,
This is a gift.
I just want my props. But go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely give you your props, and I'm glad that you actually gifted me this because
Yeah.
when I smell this, Derek, I smell woods
Mm.
and I smell that orange,
Yep.
woods, orange,
Mm-hmm.
musk.
Yep.
This is a good springtime fragrance. It really is
Yeah.
because whenever you're walking by the lake or
Mm.
whenever you're walking by a river here in Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
the wind is blowing through. I mean, my beard, for example. See, it's a personal story. Like I said, this actually helps bring back some type of memories, and it also helps me to shape new memories.
Mm.
So, Muda Mayes, big time. This is a good
Absolutely.
spring fragrance. And my other spring fragrance that I brought to
Mm.
share with you all today was Versace Eros Energy.
Yep.
Versace Eros Energy. People keep saying it is kind of like Creed of Venice, but it's not. For me, I get a lot of citrus.
Yeah.
I get a lot of citrus. I get that black currant, and then I
Mm.
get that musky dry down.
Yeah.
This lasts a long time on me.
Yeah.
It really does. It lasts a long time on me. Like the first few hours, nothing but citrus,
Mm.
lemon, mandarin orange, and that blood orange. Then, of
Yeah.
course, the black currant, and then it's musky all
Mm.
the way until the seventh and a half hour, and it dies off right at eight.
Nice.
So, yes.
Yeah. All right, man. Hey, listen. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man.
Oh, you're
Unfortunately,
welcome.
we're out of time. I appreciate it though. Let's do. Listen, we got to have you on again. Because I really I enjoy this. This was so much fun. I'm sure the people listening had a blast, and you are an incredible man. And I have to give you your props, man, because you not only are you so you know uh, thorough when explaining fragrances, but you're a deep thinker. You're someone that clearly is educated, and like I said, you speak with intelligence and wisdom, and I love that, man. And I love your vibe, and I'm so glad that we've been able to be friends for as long as we have. And I really appreciate you being on the podcast, man. So,
You're
um,
so welcome, and I'm
thank
really
you.
glad to be a part of Fragrant State of Mind and
Yeah,
Fragrant Mind podcast. Thank you
thank you,
so much
brother.
for having me.
Thank you, man. Hey, listen, if you guys are listening, I want to thank you for joining the A Fragrant Mind podcast. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, day, whatever, whenever you listen to this. I hope you guys go out there and be your best version of you that you could be. Be someone that uh, lives with intent, that can, uh, you know, focus on the simple things like just, go out and touch grass once in a while, put on some new clothes, take a shower, you know, take care of the things that you need to take care of to focus on number one, which is always going to be yourself. And then you can go out and take on the day, and hopefully you'll be blessed with the opportunity to help others. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. Be sure to visit a fragrancestateofmind.com or go on YouTube and check out AFSOM. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Derek. As always, have a fragrant state of mind.
Take care.
Welcome to a Fragrant Mind Pod.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Welcome to a Fragrant
What am I doing? And we are now going out. Here we go.
Welcome to
Anyway, you guys get the point. Have a good night, guys. I apologize.